experiment with Purely Green, which is a 100% bio-based cleaner we've been doing some testing and demonstrations with. Currently in the Gulf of Mexico, one of the big challenges they have are oil wildlife, and more specifically oil birds, dealing with a lot of brown pelicans. And so what we wanted to do was go ahead and in essence do a test of efficiency and efficacy of our product for the purpose of de-oiling wildlife. So what we're going to do, I found this wing section from a deceased bird here locally, and it has the very tight, compact feathers like a pelican would. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this wingspan up like this. We're going to dip it in some used motor oil here because this was the best thing we had access to. And again, we understand it's not specifically like the crude in the Gulf, but the point is we are going to be able to get these feathers cleaned back up, and this would be a bird that would be de-oiled. One thing about our product is it has no ionic surfactants in it, so you don't have to worry about that residue being left in the feathers from things like dish soap that they use now. Our product will go on, it'll work very quickly, and it'll rinse completely 100%. And the other thing about our product is any oil that we're able to wash out of these feathers also will be biodegraded along with our product. So we actually clean the bird and we get rid of the problem. So here we go. We're going to open these up. All right. Like I said, not quite what you might see on the Gulf, but I think no doubt you'd agree that that is one oiled wing now. What I am going to do is take, and we're just going to use a paper towel since we can get that excess off. So now that we know we've really pressed that down into those feathers, and they are very saturated with oil now. All right. So what we're going to do next, we're going to move on to the cleaning aspect, and once I've gotten this into the what would be our soak tank, like they do use in a lot of the rescue centers, they'll fill tanks with solution and then actually soak the birds in it. We're actually going to do kind of a twofold here with our product that will actually, I believe, speed this process up for the de-oiling of wildlife quite a bit. And then once I've done that, I'm going to change gloves so I'm not continuing to contaminate everything. Now, if you're curious about the plastic at the bottom of these feathers, this again came from a deceased carcass, and the wing detached, and so you have some raw material on the end here we didn't really want to be handling, and we didn't think you'd want to see. So, but as you can see, the wing is still intact. So what we want to do, and I'm going to ask one of my guys that's here with me this afternoon, one of my associates, Tom, if he will come and take the Purely Green while I separate these feathers. And if you'll just give me some good saturation on those feathers, Tom. Now the mix that Tom is applying directly to the feathers is about 15% concentrate, and that's then diluted 6 ounces to 1 quart of water, so you have a very, very mild dilution here in reality. Okay, go ahead and let's hit a little bit more. Alright, and then we're just going to make sure this works into the feathers really well here. Being very gentle. You don't have to really push, scrub, or anything. You're just trying to work this in. And you'll also notice with our product that it's unlike dish soap. Number one, it's not nearly as thick, and even in diluting the dish liquid, then you have a problem penetrating these already somewhat oiled feathers. But the great thing is too, you notice what's missing is we don't make suds and foam like dish soap does. That's because there's no ionic surfactants in this. Any foaming action you see is the product actually doing its job on bioremediating that oil. Alright, so now we're going to take our wing and our feathers, and we're just going to put them in the tank here that would simulate a tank like you might find at many of the wildlife centers. And I'm going to change gloves. Okay. Alright, so we've had these wing feathers now in the soak tank for, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of give them a good swish here again. And again, it's just basically some